Hi guys, it's Emily from Novelle Novels. Welcome to my May wrap-up. Now this month I've read a lot of books. By the time you see this, I probably would have read more because I'm recording it on the Monday the 27th. So I'm already today on 20 books and I plan to start at least one more. So today's first one I'm going to start is Milkman. Now this was on the Women's Prize shortlist. And I saw it at the library and thought, I've really got to try it. And Charlie wasn't very keen on it, so I'm wondering to wait and see what I think of it. But anyway, guys, this has been a great month. I've read a lot of books and I've been taking part in the Mental Health Readathon. Now, some of the books that I show you will be part of that, and I'll obviously quickly let you know about those books. Now, check out Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, her channel. She did the most amazing thing doing this mental health readathon. Now, I haven't tackled every single book for every single sort of topic in it because I found it quite hard for me personally, and I've had quite a tough emotional month really. I've been suffering quite a lot of my chronic pain, so if anything I think I had to really sort of substitute quite a lot of sort of chick lit books into it to keep me going and keep me on a path. So I did look after myself, and thanks Nicole for keeping an eye on me. She's been really sweet. Anyway, best get on with it. I won't really go into too much detail about the books, but please guys, let me know if you want any individual reviews on them. Let me know which books you want to hear more of. I love to hear from you guys. You're amazing. And let's get started. So the first book I read this month was this book, The Making of Us by Lisa Jewell. Now that got rated, I'm always checking my notes by the way, that got rated 5 out of 5 stars. Emma introduced me to Lisa Jewell again and I've really, really loved it. Oh, by the way guys, I can't always show you all of the books because some of them have gone to the library and some of them I've given back to Mia. So I don't know where they'll be in her room. Now the next book is Mad Girl by Bryony Gordon. Now this was the first book I read for the Mental Health Readathon. It's a memoir. It tackles quite a lot of interesting issues. As you guys have heard from my TBR, it tackles OCD, it tackles bulimia, it tackles a really lot of issues, and I found it quite challenging to read. I only rated it, let me check up my notes here, 4 out of 5 stars because it was so hard-hitting, and also I found she cross-referenced quite a lot of celebrities, which may be quite interesting for some people, but I sort of got lost in it a little bit on that part. But anyway, the next book I read was Matilda by Roald Dahl. You guys know, obviously 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Loved the film, loved the book. And I quite like the fact that with the book, you actually find out different things that you don't see in the film. And it went into love. It was just a really lovely read. The next one was The Fine Arts of William Shakespeare by Robert Winder. I think I've read one of his books before and I'm not a big fan. I only rated that like 3 out of 5 stars. I'm getting tougher on my ratings, but that was really hard to get into. Some bits were fiction, some bits weren't, some bits should have gone into more depth. I've done all my reviews, by the way, on Goodreads, so check out my Goodreads channel. It's fantastic, and I'll be able to obviously go into more detail on the books. The next book was Lainey by Max Porter. Now, Charlie loved this book. It was one she raved about, so when I saw it in the library, I had to get it. It has magical realism in it. It has contemporary. I found it quite an enjoyable book, but for me it wasn't the best. Sorry Charlie, I know I only rated it 4 out of 5 stars, but again it was a good book and there were certain bits I found fantastic, but I got lost in other bits, the way it cross-referenced quite a lot of different characters. The next one was, I did have Matilda, forgot to show you that. The next one was The Tattooist of Auschwitz. You guys know it was a 5 out of 5 stars. Now, she is bringing out a sequel in the sort of September, October, who tells of one of the other prisoners from Auschwitz's Hearst tale, which I'm really looking forward to reading, and I'll definitely get this out. 5 out of 5 stars. Buddy read this with Kieran, and Kieran found it good. There is so much depth in this book, so much history with the war, and I really, really loved it. Guys, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know if you would like an individual review of this, because literally it's one of my 5 stars and one of my favourite books. Now the next one was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I do have here. I enjoyed this book. Not as good as I thought. I thought it was one of the books people have raved about. It was read a lot for my mental health readathon, as was the Tattooist of Auschwitz. So it does tackle suicide. It tackles quite a lot of hard-hitting issues of people that were at sort of high school from an American point of view. So being from a different country, I don't know if I sort of struggle with certain things on it. I don't understand some of the things that are spoken about in this. But I did rate it. Let me double check my notes. I only got 3 out of 5 stars. Not one that I would necessarily recommend to everyone to read. But again, I'm glad I've tried it. The next one was the BFG by the Roald Dahl. Yes, Mia's had that back. I loved it. Charlie's going to kill me, but that was her nickname in our family, the BFG, because she is my big friendly giant. Loved it. That's probably, the BFG is probably my all-time favourite Roald Dahl book, although I have got more to read soon. Now, the next one was an audiobook, The Unmumsy Mum Diary by The Unmumsy Mum. Now, I read this on an audiobook. I got it from the library on there, and I really enjoyed it. It got sort of 4 out of 5 stars, very much typical of being a mum, but I think it really helps because sometimes as parents we all feel like, what are we doing? Are we doing a bad job? Are we doing a good job? I'm permanently judging my skills at being a mum, and I found that quite interesting. But I'm glad I did it as an audiobook rather than necessarily just a book on its own. The next one was A Place for Us by Harriet Evans. Now, I got that from the library. I love Harriet Evans. She is very much into her mystery. It mixes mystery, it mixes contemporary. I found it really good. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars because it was very similar to her other book. So but I still really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend that you guys try her. To Kill a Mockingbird. Another 4 out of 5 stars. Other people have liked it more, and I don't know if I reread it whether I will enjoy it more, because it's told from the tale of, here we go, Scott Scout and Jem Finch. Now, it tells more from the tale of the younger people at the time. It tells in the 1930s when black and white people were very much distinguished. About the prejudice against black people in that time was awful, and I found that really hard-hitting. Racism is such a hard-hitting issue, and I found that quite tough. It took a while to get into, but when it got good, it got so good, and I didn't want to put it down. I buddy read this with Charlie, Melanie from Completely Melanie, and another lady whose channel I will link below. I think the Return Cart. She's lovely. So, yeah, but I really enjoyed it, but again, it took a long time to get into. It's a classic. I'm glad I got it, but I definitely need to reread this. So this is staying on my shelf, and I will reread it at some point. I might do another video, guys, on books that I should read again to see if I get more depth in. If you can recommend any, I would really love to hear from you. The next one was The Worst Witch by Jill Murphy. Another children's book, 5 out of 5 stars. Got to get more of them. I think I bought Mia one, or I bought myself one of the Worst Witch ones, but I would definitely look out for more of them. The little witch in me, the little fun, it was great. The mischievous bit of it reminds me of Mia, because obviously we all know she's very cheeky. But I really love that book, and I definitely want to read more of those books. Now, The Longest Ride by Nicholas Sparks. Now, I read this with Bailey. Bailey flew through it and read it very, very quickly. I took my time on it because I was reading other books. It's all right. I think it got, looking at my notes here, got 3 out of 5 stars. It took too long to get into it, and it didn't tie up loose ends at the end. I didn't think it told the two romances together very well. I didn't think it linked them very well, and I found it tough. So I'm going to give this to my Auntie Julie, though, because she wants to try it. So I hope you like it, Julie. I hope you really enjoy it. Now, the next 2 are 2 books from authors that I absolutely love. You guys know I love this. You've seen the review video. Paige Toon. By the way, guys, she is an amazing author. She cheers me up. She writes lovely comments on my Twitter, and I love this. And I hope you'll check out the review. I will try and see if I can link this individual review in the bottom of the description, if I remember. But I will do that at the end. But this book was fantastic. And the next book I read was from another author that I absolutely love, Crooked Heart. This was absolutely fantastic. Please, guys, check out Lisa Evans' work. She originally, I read Old Baggage by Lisa Evans. Charlie got me that for my birthday, and Lisa actually said to me on Twitter, check out Crooked Heart, you'll love it. And I did. It rated, and I believe I'm not going to get it wrong, of course, 5 out of 5 stars. Why am I even checking? It's told of Noel Bastock, who aged 10 with no family, gets evacuated from London in the Blitz. Now, his godmother dies. She dies of dementia. That's obviously contributes to her death. And now his godmother, Mattie, was actually in Old Baggage. So I love the way it connects to that old book as well. I think it connects quite nicely with Mattie, how he kind of goes back and wants to feel safe with her. It starts off with her and then it goes on to tell about his evacuation. I love this book. Vera, the person who gets evacuated to, seems very hard-hitting, very tough, very like a real lady who's only doing it for the money, but there's so much more depth with her. And I loved the way their relationship grows. I really love this book. I am very tempted to do a review video on it, but guys, like I said, let me know if you want one. But definitely, guys, look out for Lisa Evans. She's fantastic, and I do need to get more of her books. Now I'm looking down here. Now these are the next few books are the ones I only finished last week. They're the buddy reads I did, and I'm going to start with my favourite one. All time, one of my best books ever, The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. You guys know I love his work. I loved 1,000 Splendid Suns, and I love this. Now, when I say loved, it is hard-hitting. It tells of Afghanistan. It tells of the story of war. It tells of a real hardship back then and how the Taliban had effects and how... Basically, also, this is a big thing because it's told from the male point of view. It's told from Amir's side. Now, this starts off the book with when he's 12. He's young. He's innocent. And he's a kite runner with his friend who's his servant's son. His father's servant's son is basically his best friend, but he still treats him with certain prejudices. And when a big event happens at the end of a kite run, it changes all their lives. And basically, Amir lives with guilt and he suffers from it. This book is about fixing redemption. When Amir goes to America with his father, it tells of how he's fighting this. He hides what happened. He hides that traumatic event, but it never leaves him. And he goes to, and at some point he has to go back to Afghanistan. He has to go back there and he has to find answers and seek sort of justice for what happened. But this is really hard-hitting. I will say one thing, it does have a trigger warning of male rape. So, guys, if you're going to read this, watch out. I also read this for the Mental Health-a-thon, and I'm glad I did, but it is very emotional. So, guys, be careful with this. But I really enjoy it. I can't wait to read his other book. Now, I read that, by the way, with Clint and Charlie. It was really good, and someone else. But I will forget the person, so I'll try and see if I can remember to put it in the descriptions. But, yeah, really enjoyed that book. The next one was Dear Mrs. Bird. Now, it was kind of a buddy read with Julie, kind of not, because she didn't really have time to read it. But I loved it. It started off as a book where you think it's really about the journalist, about the lady, I'll find her name here, Emmy. Now, she goes off, she wants to be a war journalist, she wants to be a journalist. But she ends up being a secretary, she goes to to be a secretary of an advice columnist. When this advice columnist doesn't necessarily want to give answers to ones that she considers are inappropriate, or she has like a list of people that she won't answer to letters to, a list of problems she'll ignore, so Emmy gets involved. It's a bit mischievous. But it's way more than that, because it tackles, like, obviously she's in London at the time of the World War II. It tackles the bombings, it tackles the fact that she does voluntary work for the fire service and what the fire service do. This is not, you forget, by the way, when you talk about the war, you think about, obviously, the soldiers that fought, the evacuations. Now, I've heard various different tales of who this affected. And to me, it shows the signs of the fire service that did such an amazing job. They rescued people, they fought so hard, and they risked their lives for people. That's a tale that's not really told, so I really thought that was really good. 5 out of 5 stars, really loved it. So I'm just double checking. No, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, but I think it was because it did take a while to get into. Oh, by the way, The Kite Runner was 5 out of 5 stars. Mia's kind of going to hopefully not get in the way now, because she's around here. Now, the next book I read, I actually had a DNF, guys. You know me, I don't DNF books. But Not Working by Lisa Owens. I picked this up as a bit of a off-the-shelf, like the look of it. But I got, from the library, I got 30 pages in, and I put it back down. I didn't like it. It jumped around. Not enjoyable, and I'm so glad I DNF'd it. All my friends were out there were going, what, she's DNF'd a book? Even Chris called me up and was shocked, because I never ever give up. But now, at the time, I'm reading quite a lot of books. You guys know I set myself a lot of challenges. And if a book's not enjoyable, no, I'm going to learn to put it down. Now, the next book I read, I don't have it on me because I couldn't find it on my shelves. It was A Place Called Here by Cecilia Ahern. Oh, by the way, guys, she actually liked my tweet about this book. She liked my review. How cool is that? So cool. Rated it 5 out of 5 stars. It really is contemporary fiction. It's stuff. It also, oh my god, it's got magical realism. Charlie, you would love it. It's not the typical contemporary book. So much magic in it, but it's so hard hitting because it tells us the tale of a girl who is searching for missing people, and she really is really interesting. She, like, when a girl in her district goes missing when she's a child, she always seeks to find missing things. She doesn't like losing things, and that really tells the story of us being lost. How many of us are lost? I find it quite interesting, and how many of us seek answers and find things. I don't like losing things anyway. I'm a bit of a nitpick. I like to know where everything is. Everything's got its place. So I really love this book. I definitely plan to pick up more Cecilia Ahern books, and I found it really good. 5 out of 5 stars. Now the next book was my first graphic novel. You guys know that I've never read graphic novels. I've never been particularly into it. I asked Charlie to find me the book club, which was a book that she had, and she still got, but she lost it. So when she came over to do our videos, our joint videos, she brought this over, and I've already read it. Quiet Girl in a Noisy World. This is actually really apt for the mental health-a-thon because it tackles introversion. It tackles someone that says one thing, like it shows her like going through things, and outwardly she's going, oh yeah, this is fine, and inwardly she's panicking, and you can see all her thoughts. I love this book. It was amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. My first graphic novel, and God, do I plan to read more. Now, the last one quickly, because I'm coming up to my time where I don't like, this is a very long video. Heroes Welcome. This is only 3.5 stars. I've only just finished this. It's alright. It's about like the World War One, so me and my World War books, hey. But it tackles the tale of 2 different people who came back from the war with different effects. One's got a man, Riley has got a reconstructed jaw, so his sort of disabilities, his effects from the war are obvious. And then there's Peter, who comes back emotionally traumatised. He drinks to hide his pain. And it shows how their relationships and a lot more. It is a good book, but again, didn't really enjoy it that much. But I did fly through it, so that's obviously got to be something. Now, guys, that's it for my wrap up. I've read a lot of books, probably too many. I'm going to try and slow down in June because I don't want to put myself under too much pressure. I'm about to film my TBR, and that will show you guys. That will be the next video. But, guys, I hope you all had a lovely May. I'd love to hear what your favourite books of the month were. What are the books that you really enjoyed? If there's any books on, obviously, my review that you like and you want reviews of, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, if you've liked this video, hit the like, hit the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to me and want to, press on that ding-a-ling. I love you guys, and I hope you've had a great reading month. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
As Mia.